My name is Morse Davy Belgard. I'm 68 years old. I was born in 1955. I was raised right here in Hays, Montana. My given name is Aaniiih. It's Crowbo. It's after my great grandfather. He was a flat pipe keeper here amongst the Grovant people. Aaniiih, White Clay, Grovant, Willow. Okay, I'll start with my grandparents. My grandparents on my dad's side was Archie and Rose Belgard, and on my mother's side was George Blackbird and Angela Deafy. My children are Amber and Emil Belgard. It means everything. It means a lot, you know. Jesus, we're at the place where we were supposed to be. Where we are, you know. We're here, like them crows say. We're at the center of the country. Well, this is where we are. Yeah, we have visitors amongst us, you know. But yeah, this is the last of the Grovant land, you know, the old 1855 treaty. I went to school. Started first grade here at the public school at the old John Capture Center until 7th grade, and I went to Mission, finished out them last 2 years. Then I went on to Flanders, South Dakota for 2 years, and Harlem the last 2 years. It was okay. It's a little tough. I mean, you didn't have parents around. You know, I kind of regret that time, you know, not being out here with my mother and my sisters and my brothers. You know, I really feel like I lost a lot. You know, I could have probably learned a lot more if I would have been here home. Back then, when I was a kid, we didn't have much money. There was a lot of rations. We ate a lot of rations. Canned meats, canned chickens, pork. Yeah, everything was in silver cans back then in plastic bags. High salt, you know, really bad meat to eat. It's all canned stuff and it's really salty. But that was really a lot of our main diet back then was rations, you know. A lot of us didn't have money. I mean, my dad was World War II vet, and we got $48 a month, and there was about 6, 7 of us, you know, and shit, my mother just bought what she had to buy, you know, for us guys to survive. Tough back then. Horseback ride and run the brush out here in Hays. That was about it, yeah. I lived in Flathead for a while. I lived in St. Ignatius when I started my family. I lived up there for about 5 years. It was good, yeah. People were good up there. Real good people. Throughout my life, I worked for the Fort Belknap community. When I first started, I was working with the Fort Belknap Curriculum Development Project, and that's where we was going around. We was doing language cards, and we did some books, 3 books, recollections of Fort Belknap's past, stories of white clay people, and Nakoda memories. I don't know if you guys ever seen those books. A lot of language stuff. We did a lot of computer was just coming in back then. We did a lot of animation with Apple computers, making little stick figures just walk all over, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, most of my career has been with the tribe. I worked with Glenn, was it Glenn Seahose down at Agency? The language thing for a while. Geez, I bet you I got a good 20 years when it's tribal EPA. Yeah, we used to go to Sundances in Rocky Boy. There's nothing here. Church out here mostly. Sweat started coming back in about in 75, 76. They started sweating around here again. And I started getting active again about in the early 80s. Sweating, sun dancing, you know. Too old now for that stuff. Used to dance in the late 70s and early 80s, yeah. It's traditional There's a picture of me up there. Yeah, traditional, yeah. You know, I just retired myself here. Now, I'll tell you what you people, old people older than me, you know, we could really use company once in a while, or just have someone come and check on us and see if we're doing okay, you know, and stuff like that. You know, myself, I'm always open for people to come in and visit, and I do a lot of stuff on my computer on families, you know, like, yeah, I like to do stuff like that, censuses and collect stories, people like that. So I got stories that go back, oh shit, years and years, but census, I got them back to 1880, 80 or 88. But that's kind of stuff I like to do. So I can just make a little cash at it now, you know. Iitaanɔɔn'i, my father's songs, they call them. I know some language, but I'm not fluent like everybody else. You know, like, you know, I know words and stuff like that. Maybe little simple phrases like Hays Mt. You guys know that. Come here. Yeah. You sit there, good there. Give me a smoke. You know, stuff like that. You know, little simple stuff I know. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys go sweat with Howard Garn, he sings them Iitaanɔɔn'i, our father's songs. They're supposed to be Arapaho songs, but if you guys ever go down there, he sings them. You know, all my relatives are here, all my people are here. The only thing that's really been constant, you know, on Fort Belknap is drinking. I mean, it's you know, you guys see it nowadays too. It's just a problem that goes on and on and on. Back when I was young, before, I think it was 60, oh God, let's see, maybe even the 70s, it was prohibited here to drink on a reservation. You couldn't bring liquor on a reservation, but it always made it. It was probably even worse back then, back in them days, because a lot of car wrecks, you know, people are killing themselves coming home from Harlem drinking, you know. But yeah, so that was one of the big things. Well, drugs, you know, of course, grass, but there was angel dust they used to have here years ago. What's this new stuff now? Crank, fentanyl. Yeah, that's all new, but it's always been like that. Whatever's out there is right here too, you know. But I'm getting to be one of the older fellas now, you know. Yeah. Which you guys, you know, you younger ones, I always heard from the older ones like Rufus Warrior, Philip Shortman, my mother. Education's really important, you know. Get out there and get yourself educated. How Rufus used to say it. Don't work for the white man, be the white man's boss. You know, do the best you can for yourself. And learn your ways. We have our own ways, you know. We're not Christians, we're not, you know, we're not Jews. We have our own religion. It's that medicine wheel religion. Get out there and Sundance, you guys. That's about all I have to say, you know, for, you know, the younger guys, you know, girls and you guys too. You guys know about the store brushing between Hays and Mission here? Years ago, it used to be called Other Side. You know, people on that side of the brush said, hey, where does Davy live? They'd say, oh, he lives on the other side, referring to the other side of the brush. So that was the name of Hays, was the other side. That's really a traditional name for this area. One night, it's getting late. We was up here visiting. A friend of mine, Sherman Jones, and I was up here visiting. Some new houses just come across, just over there where the shambles are. Them are all new back then. Otherwise, this is all open field, nothing here. So we was up here visiting, and it was getting kind of dark, and we decided to go home. So we started going back through the road here. It was all back then it was just a gravel road, you know. Anyway, we was coming down like this. We walk on that side of the road, you know. Everybody kind of walks on that side. It used to be on that side where the sidewalk isn't now. It used to be, everybody used to walk on the other side. Anyway, we was coming down like this, guys. This guy was walking down, and there was this girl coming up. Ooh, crying. I mean, you were crying real hard, you know. And it was dark out, real dark. Anyway, she kept getting closer and she'd get louder and louder. So I got scared, so I walked across. Of course, my friend followed me. And she came across. So we crossed again. And by the time she got across to us, she was there. So I said, "What's the matter?" That's all she was doing, was crying. I couldn't hear her walk. I couldn't see feet or anything like that. It looked like she had real long, curly black hair. Or she had on a buffalo robe or something, going like that, crying. I said, "What's the matter?" I was kind of spun around and watched her walk, and God, I'd say from about here to maybe that wall there, nothing. Just pure quiet. She disappeared on us. I said, "Holy Sherman, did you see that?" Jesus. My friend smoked me. He's almost into Hays already. Yeah, that's the most scariest thing I ever seen, was that in that store brush right there. I told my mother about that later on. She said, "Oh, you kids are crazy. You walk around at night." She said, "That was probably that, she called her off that crying woman or something like that, singing woman," she said. "It's a damn wonder she didn't do something to you kids," she said. Yeah, she said they used to always hear her up on the hills here, singing all the time, you know. If she was singing, they kind of figured everything was going okay. But when she started crying, they knew that somebody died in the camp, or, you know, amongst our people. But that's who I think it was, is that crying woman we seen that time. I walked around at dark. Now, if you do carry a big black burnt stick with you, spirits come up to you, you hit them with them. It'll run them off.